Now at 9, with the SEK Humane Society at risk of closing, stray animals could roam free in Pittsburgh. The shelter's urgent plea tonight. Plus, fall colors are showing up early this year. Why the dry weather is to blame.
The man accused of plotting to kill President Donald Trump questions potential jurors for the second day here in Florida. I'm Rebecca Castor in Fort Pierce with the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
After half a century of rescuing lost animals, a 4-state animal shelter says it is currently in a financial crisis, and if not resolved, the door will close for good by the end of the year. This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Tanya Bach. The SEK Humane Society in Pittsburgh says it needs an average income of $30 grand a month to continue to stay afloat. That's the number Director Jasmine Kyle presented to Pittsburgh City Commissioners at tonight's meeting. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, if that door closes, it affects the entire community.
I love spending time with the animals. They all look so happy.
Yes.
None of them seem miserable. They all look happy.
What we're hearing and what we get threats of, in all honesty, and I'll be transparent about this, is, well, if you're not going to take my dog, I'm just going to let it loose.
Jasmine Kyle is the director of Southeast Kansas Humane Society. She's currently working with Pitt State students to help keep these lost animals in order. As she says, any abandoned pet could pose a serious threat to the community.
Say that it's sick, it has ringworm and such, and it's been raised with kids. There's a school a few blocks away. Can hear the kids. It's going to go for the kids because they know that sound, right? That's our concern.
Kyle says 97% of stray animals in Crawford County are from Pittsburgh. She says there's very little funding for the animal shelters, and it's even worse for small towns.
And they'll look at populace of Pittsburgh compared to Chicago or New York. Who do you think gets picked?
Actually, after spending time with them today, I don't want anything bad to happen to any of the animals.
And what if these current animals don't find homes?
We're not looking to do what some shelters sadly had to do during the pandemic when they shut down. It was mass euthanasia. We are not doing that. I can tell you that for a fact. We are not doing that.
Lastly, how can community members help?
One, if you could make a donation, oh my gosh, please, that would help us out a ton. Talk to your commissioners. Be our voice for the voiceless. Oh my gosh, that's a huge way you can help. Volunteering, it doesn't give financial towards, but it does help. It truly does. So if you can come out and do some walking, if you can help us clean.
If you're looking for an animal right now, this is the best place to be.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Kyle says if they do end up closing, she will work hard to make sure all current animals find a home. Last week, Kyle presented the shelter's financial struggles to the Crawford County Commission. At their Tuesday meeting, she plans to return this Friday for an update. The Missouri House passes a bill to redraw congressional districts, sending the measure to the Senate for debate. Supporters say the Republican-led effort is meant to ensure Missouri's voice in Washington reflects the state's conservative majority. If passed, the bill would divide Missouri's 5th congressional district into 3 seats, each already represented by Republicans.
I think that it would be better if we had more Republicans in Washington, D.C., and if Mike Johnson was Speaker of the House versus Hakeem Jeffries or Nancy Pelosi. And I think the vast majority of Missourians, it's clear, would prefer a House with Republican leadership when you consider the fact that Republicans have every statewide office in Missouri, over 90% of the county offices. The state legislature has a supermajority virtually of Republicans. And so I think those are Missouri values, and that's what Missourians generally would like to see represented in Congress.
The bill now heads to the Senate for debate. If passed, it will move to the governor's desk for final approval. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
And it turned out to be a pretty good Tuesday for us today. We had a lot of clouds, some scattered showers, a couple scattered thunderstorms out there at times. And we may get a few random showers again on Wednesday. It wouldn't be many. Most of you would end up staying on the dry side. Plus, the temperatures start to heat up mid to upper 80s on your Wednesday. And then those wonderful 90s, or not so wonderful 90s, returning as we go into Thursday and sticking around for a stretch. Have been tracking a few scattered showers and a few scattered thunderstorms, mainly in southwestern Missouri over the past several hours. But some lightning, you can see them dropping south and east, but also falling apart as they do so. So from this point on, pretty quiet for the night. Comfortable. Low to mid 60s. But we heat up a little bit more tomorrow. Upper 80s for afternoon highs. Again, a random shower could work in, but we'll talk more about those 90s here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, as we get closer to fall, our very dry summer is already changing the color of the leaves on some trees. Nick Kelly reports on what the weather will do the rest of the fall color season.
Passing clouds on this Tuesday kept temperatures cooler than normal once again, still hinting at this coming fall. Something Kelly McGowan at the MU Extension is excited for.
Everyone's looking forward to fall. It's been a long, hot summer, and we're looking forward to cooler temperatures.
In some parts of Springfield, other signs of fall are showing up. Some trees changing color from their vibrant greens. McGowan says that usually happens when chlorophyll production, responsible for food for the trees and the green colors, shuts down. However, a color change this early is a sign of tree stress from our dry August and September so far, even after a wet June and July.
Whenever we have a period of really dry weather around the time of leaf change or in the weeks leading up to it, it can certainly affect some of our fall color. And I think that's why we're seeing it arriving a little bit earlier than usual.
While the weather will influence the actual colors themselves, this will influence when the fall colors peak this season. According to ExploreFall.com, our average peak for fall colors is late October. While we'll have some light to moderate change through September and early October, leaf colors will start peaking around October 17th and past peak before Halloween. So while the colors may start changing early, McGowan says you'll still see plenty of vibrant colors.
Oranges, reds, even some purplish type colors. I mean, we're going to have the whole spectrum of colors.
Also, McGowan says that while you can catch the colors anywhere and any time, photographers will want to focus on 2 times of day.
With some of these nature type photographies, you know, early in the morning, later in the day is when the best color will show up via photo.
Well, authorities in Neosho County recently apprehended an escapee and are now turning to the public for help. Now, the individual in question is between 5 and 9 years old. Authorities believe is either an Angus or an Angus cross cow. Yes, I said cow. The stray is currently penned and being cared for. Neosho County Sheriff deputies reached out to area cattle producers, but say so far no owner has been found. If you are the owner, please contact the Neosho County Sheriff's Office and provide a description of your missing cow. If the owner cannot be found and you would like to own a cow, the stray will go up for sale next Wednesday at the Parsons Livestock Auction. Well, coming up, making kids healthy again. That's the plan from the Trump administration.
The Maha Commission released a list of more than 100 ways it would like to try to improve Americans' health, but it comes as some criticize recent changes at the HHS and the CDC. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I've got the details coming up.
But up first, a workout plan for overweight canines. It's safe to assume most dog owners would do almost anything to help keep their pets around for as long as possible. And according to veterinarians, part of the key to ensuring their health is ensuring they stay in shape, with experts citing the potential risks that can come when canines are overweight. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten reports.
While it can be dangerous to exercise dogs outside in hot summer temperatures, the arrival of cooler fall weather is offering better conditions for pets and their owners to head outdoors. And veterinarians say it's critical every dog gets enough movement.
I know that there is a bit of a trend of having dogs who are chunky, sometimes called the chunk, but we need to understand that it isn't healthy.
According to Dr. Katie Creevy of Texas A&M University, keeping dogs lean and active is one of the best ways to help them live long and healthy lives.
If your dog can stay active, that will improve their overall health and help them avoid obesity as they age.
And while it doesn't mean you and your dog need to start an Olympic training regimen, consistency matters.
Most of us can take our dogs for a walk. Maybe we can take our dogs for a jog.
Even playing with dogs can help them stay in shape.
A lot of dogs will do well with games involving toys or fetching. Some dogs are not motivated by toys, but you might try different types of toys.
Meanwhile, for expert guidance, Dr. Creevy says veterinarians can help properly assess your dog's weight
by something that we call body condition scoring. And this is a measurement of how much excess fat your dog might have. You shouldn't be able to see your dog's ribs, but you should be able to feel them easily. But if you run your hands along your dog's sides, you should be able to easily feel his ribs, but you don't want to be able to see them from a distance.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Nearly half of people with diabetes are not aware they have it. Obesity is a major problem with Americans these days. The University of Washington study finds an estimated 44% of people with diabetes are unaware of their condition. Young adults in particular are often underdiagnosed. The study also found worldwide only around 1 in 5 diabetes patients have their blood sugar levels managed optimally. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, to borrow or not to borrow. We talked to local lenders about the Joplin housing market.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a decent day for us today. We did have a lot of clouds. I had some scattered showers across the region, even some thunderstorms this evening in southwest Missouri, but things are pretty quiet now. We've lost the heating of the day, and because of that, all these thunderstorms are pretty much falling apart, which is okay, but at least some of you got some rain. I got moderate drops at my house, about half covered the pavement late this morning into the early afternoon. You can see some thunderstorms southwest Missouri just kind of falling apart over the past couple hours. Still one little guy right on the county line at Berry and into Lawrence County, right on top of Monette. Besides that, pretty quiet as we'll go through the rest of the overnight hours tonight. Let me walk you through time. We're going to stop early in the morning hours, 7 a.m. 61, 62, fairly comfortable. We'll definitely take that. As we go through the day, we got to watch for, again, just like today, some random pop-up showers, and we'll have to see how much cloud cover we have. If we get some decent sunshine, we'll pop into the upper 80s. Here's the noon hour, some scattered thunderstorms trying to get into our western counties. So we're going to see if this complex can get in. If it can, we're going to get some hit and miss showers. As of right now, I've had a 10% chance for rain in, meaning 10% of our counties will get rain. I'll probably up it to 20 looking at some of the new data. But I still think we're going to be 86, 87 degrees. As we go into the afternoon hours or into the evening hours, anything would fall apart. A little bit warmer start on Thursday, mid 60s to kick off your Thursday. Mainly dry, a little hotter. High temps right around 90 degrees. You can see those southwesterly winds kicking in across the region. Let's look at your day planner. 64 to start, 82 by noon. High temp, 87 degrees as we go into the afternoon hours. Great shot, Cornell, Arts and Entertainment Complex. Very light breeze. We are looking northeast right through downtown Joplin. Temperature is about 65 to 70, so it's decently comfortable. And again, we're going to drop back into lower 60s later on tonight. All right, so see this big bump in the upper level flow? That is a ridge of high pressure that is going to build right into the Central Plains. As it does so, in return for us, we start to heat back up. So we've gone almost 3 weeks. So on Thursday, it will be 3 weeks since we've seen 90s. Unfortunately, they are returning. It looks like low to mid 90s even as we go into Friday. Let me take you into Saturday, 92, 93, 94 degrees once again. Let's go into Sunday. Rain kind of rotating around us, but for us, still 92, 93, 94 degrees. So it heats up a little bit, and this lasts all the way into the beginning of next week, which kind of stinks, but summer's not done quite yet. We still got a week and a half to go. 87 on your Wednesday, 90 on Thursday, 93 on Friday, staying right into low to mid 90s all the way through the weekend into early next week.
Yeah, I was ready for that cool down to actually stick, not the fake.
It never does.
We keep saying it was a fake fall,
yeah.
So we got it. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, Joplin officials want your help in naming some new trails at the city's bike park at Dora. City officials are inviting the public to name the trails at the Momentum Bike Park, located within the Dover Outdoor Recreation Area. Now, when the park opens, it will be the largest municipal facility of its kind in Missouri. It'll feature more than 132,000 square feet of formal bike park elements alongside 10 miles of purpose-built mountain bike trails. If you're interested in submitting names for any of the trails, we've provided a link to the survey on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The survey closes next Wednesday on the 17th. Coming up next, to borrow or not to borrow.
The Federal Reserve and interest rates. How does this tie into the mortgage rates? I'm Ty Parks, and I'll have that story coming up.
Visit Paw Prints on the Heart Emporium.
Currently, mortgage rates are on a slight decrease across the country, but what does this mean for those looking to buy a new home? The Federal Reserve is scheduled to meet in mid-September to discuss a change in interest rates. KOAM's Ty Parks speaks with local lenders about whether or not you should wait to buy a new home.
The Federal Reserve is set to meet and discuss changing the interest rates. KOAM News talks to mortgage advisor Kristen Sweet of Arvest Bank about how the meeting could affect the mortgage rates.
I think there's oftentimes confusion with prime and what prime impacts versus what it doesn't impact. And it doesn't necessarily impact the mortgage rates. So I always do try to keep my borrowers educated and let them know that rates won't necessarily go down just because the Fed meets and they drop prime.
According to Arvest Bank, the mortgage rate is tied to the Treasury yield. 10-year Treasury note is used as a benchmark for the mortgage rates.
So we've actually already seen mortgage rates trend down a little bit over the past few weeks. And when the Feds meet next Wednesday, those rates that's your prime rate that they're looking to lower. And prime is tied to more short-term money, such as like home equity loans, lines of credit, that type of thing. I think we're going to see a more competitive market. I think we're going to see a lot more buyers trying to get those houses that they've been looking at. And so don't wait on that.
If the mortgage rate goes down, then the amount of people buying could increase, which could cause the price of homes to go up. KOAM sits down with Charity Hogan of Flat Branch Loans to discuss what customers should really be focusing on.
So the risk of, I wish I wouldn't have waited 6 months. I ask 2 questions when I take applications. What do you want your house payment to be, and what are you looking for? And so when it comes down to the wire and we're getting closer to closing time, then I ask those 2 questions again. Can you afford the payment? Do you love the house? And if the answer to those questions are yes, then it's a great time to buy. So I kind of work backwards. What kind of payment are you looking for? And then here's the price point that you want to stay within to hit that payment amount.
If someone locks in and closes on a home,
and then you know what? If 6 months from now the rate does go down, like plummets, which probably won't happen, but like let's just say it does. Let's say it goes down an entire point, then you can always refinance.
In Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The overall view of industry professionals seems to be if you are ready to buy a home, you should buy a home. Well, that solar tax credit that can save you thousands with installing a new solar system is going away at the end of the year. While it can save on your power bill if you can afford the hefty investment, the system usually costs about $30,000, but the tax credit could knock it down to $20,000. Here's the deal though, no leasing, you must buy. Check with your city and HOA to see if they have any specific requirements, and make sure the mounting system is compatible with your roof. Like the solar tax credit, the energy efficient home improvement credit also expires on December 31st. Well, coming up next, local Pittsburgh teens get a chance to earn volunteer hours at the public library. The Pittsburgh Public Library hopes to offer local teenagers a chance to earn some volunteer hours. The library says its Volunteen program provides an opportunity for teens to volunteer, socialize, and help the community. The group meets every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and teens help with various projects from shelving books to preparing craft projects for story time.
I grew up with this library, so it's very fulfilling for me to come here and help out, and especially in the doing this kind of thing where when we were little kids we come here in grade school and we do all these crafts, and then helping make those crafts for the new generation of little kids is, you know, very nice.
The next Volunteens Open Afternoon at the Pittsburgh Public Library will take place on September 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Jury selection is still underway for the trial of Ryan Routh, the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump on a South Florida golf course. And new health proposals spark criticism of recent Health and Human Services changes. What's being proposed next?
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Jury selection continues for a second day as the man accused of trying to kill President Trump last year questions more prospective jurors. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more from outside the courthouse in Fort Pierce, Florida.
The defendant Ryan Ruth seems much more prepared today than he was on day one as he continues to question potential jurors.
What he's doing is he wants a show trial.
Trying to seat a jury while squashing a circus atmosphere. That's the challenge for the judge in this case. Ryan Ruth is accused of allegedly trying to kill then presidential candidate Donald Trump on a South Florida golf course last year, and now he's representing himself in court.
He does have the right to represent himself, but he has, that's pro se they call it, but he has a court-appointed lawyer next to him to help him procedurally and to try to keep him coloring within the lines.
When the judge asked a pool of potential jurors if they could be impartial, politics came into play, with one prospect saying, "I am MAGA. It would be really hard for me to see him as innocent." That person was later dismissed, but Ruth and the prosecution still have a long way to go to seat 12 jurors and 4 alternates.
I think they're going to be able to find a fair and impartial jury. And again, if there's questions about that, nothing prevents Judge Cannon from going out and finding more jurors.
Ruth has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges against him. Opening statements are expected to start on Thursday. In Fort Pierce, Florida, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
President Trump's Maha Commission releases its report with a long list of issues it hopes to tackle. It comes at a time of increased scrutiny on HHS Secretary RFK Jr. and changes at the CDC. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen reports.
Making kids healthier than ever. That's the lofty goal behind President Trump's Maha Commission, which released a new report highlighting the main drivers behind chronic disease in children, including poor diet, chemical exposure, lack of physical activity and stress, and over-medicalization.
We're the sickest country in the world. We have the highest chronic disease burden of any country in the world. And yet we spend more on health care than any country in the world.
The report lists a number of new initiatives ranging from nutrition to fitness and water quality. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been facing intense scrutiny over his stance on vaccines. The Maha Commission says HHS and the NIH will expand its investigation into vaccine injuries. It also plans to focus on, quote, making sure America has the best childhood vaccine schedule.
We are focusing narrowly on nutrition and metabolic health, food quality, cumulative exposures, gut microbiome, precision agriculture, and mental health.
Democrats have accused the HHS secretary of casting doubt on vaccines and upending the review process by replacing key officials.
We are now witnessing a full-blown war on science, on public health, and on truth itself.
On Capitol Hill today, committees held hearings on vaccine policies and on childhood nutrition. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Israel launches a strike on Hamas leadership in Qatar as they discuss a U.S. proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza. Black smoke rose over the skyline of the Qatari capital, Doha, today. It wasn't immediately clear if anyone was hurt in the attack. The strike marks a stunning extension of Israel's campaign against the militant group and risk upending negotiations aimed at winding down the war and releasing Israeli hostages. Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, the Heartland Patriots Festival and Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce hold a Veterans Entrepreneurs Workshop at Crowder College.
What our clients have to say about us is
It definitely turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. We did have a lot of clouds, had some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. About 30 to 40% of us picked up at least some raindrops. I got some very light ones at the house earlier today. Had a little complex of scattered thunderstorms southwestern Missouri. You can see these dropping south and east and then just kind of falling apart. So they're pretty much gone. You can see still one little cell, northern parts of Berry County. Besides that, things are pretty quiet across the region. Let me take you through time. We're going to go through the overnight into the morning hours. We're going to start 61, 62, 63 degrees. Pretty good start. Very similar to today. I do think there's going to be a few pop-up showers across the region. Through the morning, mainly dry, lower 80s, kind of heat up into the upper 80s, but look at some scattered thunderstorms trying to get in. Southeast Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, falling apart as they do so. But I do think we're going to get a few in here as we go through the afternoon into the evening hours on Wednesday. All right, so let's go through time. So now we're looking at Thursday morning, mid-60s to start, but we heat up a little bit more. We get up right around 90 during the afternoon. Wednesday, day planner 64 to start, 82 by noon. High temp, 87 degrees. Looks great. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, downtown Joplin. Temperatures ranging about 65 to 70 at this point in time. We are going to be watching this ridge of high pressure building in. It's going to continue to work in, and what that's going to do in return is really warm our temperatures up as we go through the next several days. By Friday, we're going to be low to mid 90s for highs. Saturday, we're going to also most likely be 92, 93, 94 degrees for afternoon highs. I really don't see a change on Sunday. We got some thunderstorms kind of rotating around us, but in return, we're still 92, 93, 94 degrees. Does it end on Monday? No, it does not. Temperature still 92, 93, 94 degrees. So you can see this trend lasting all the way through early next week. So that's something we got to keep our eyes on. Humidity is going to come up a tick, but not as bad as what we saw when we were in this part of the pattern, especially the beginning of August. We're on a 41-day cycle. So if you go back then, we had temps upper 90s, heat index 105 to 110. Heat indexes were kind of in the September version. Lower, but that's still pretty hot. Feels like 96, 97, 98 degrees. Heat indices Saturday are going to be up there as well. Let's jump into Friday night. High school football week 3 for some, week 2 for others. Look at that warm kickoff. 86 degrees, and by the time games end, 80. So you can wear shorts and a t-shirt for high school football this week. I bet Tim, our director, is listening because he shoots some games. And Martin as well. 87 on Wednesday, 90 on Thursday, 93 Friday, holding low to mid 90s all the way through the weekend.
Instead of rain gear, they're going to need shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's going to be warm.
Big change from last week.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, the Purple Dragons of Pittsburgh are looking for their 5th straight winning season. We'll hear from the team after this.
60.
The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons are coming off their 4th straight winning season. As they eye a 5th straight winning year, they will rely on a lot of new faces to step up. The Purple Dragons graduated 23 seniors from the 2024 team, and as they look to fill those holes across the field, this squad has embraced competition. But with new guys getting their feet wet and starting roles, one group is leading the way. The Pittsburgh defensive line is a key strength in 2025, with 3 experienced returners taking on captain duties.
We're a gap sound defense, so that basically means we just hold our gaps and we just, we're always on each other to be hands-on and to be really fierce and competitive against each other. We got Garrett Dillingham, who's a really good DN for us. Cole, he played a lot of good games. He's really good. Of course, we got Parker Pinamani. He's the best defensive tackle we've had in a lot of last years.
Cole Hayden, dog, like his brother used to play here, his little brother plays here. It's just a lot going on. He's really good. Parker Pinamani, that's a guy that he goes hard every day at practice. Like there's times coach has to move him out of the play just because of how hard he's going, and he's just a dog. JC Patterson, he does everything he needs to do in the weight room, the classroom. He's just a dog offensive line too.
Pittsburgh faces a tough test to open the season, playing their first 3 games on the road. And while that may be daunting to some teams, the Dragons are embracing any opportunity to play, whether it's at home in front of their fans at Hutch Field or on the road.
We play better on the road anyway since my time being here, but we preach all the time, we'll play anywhere. We'll play in a cow pasture. We'll play on a gravel road. We'll play on asphalt. We'll play out here on the practice field. We'll play in the Chief Stadium. It doesn't matter where we play. We're going to give it our best effort, and hopefully the results turn in our favor. I love it. To go into somebody else's house and then to go, take that away from them and having, as we call the purple haze, circling around them and just have that energy just piling up over throughout the week. And then when it comes Friday, we're just there mentally just to outwork them.
After taking down Emporia to open the season last week, the Dragons battle Shawnee Mission South on Friday. The The fall sports season is in full swing with soccer and volleyball matches taking center stage this evening, including teams like Baxter Springs, Joplin, and even Pittsburgh. On the court, the Lions battling Riverton for the second time this year. Early first set, Rams' Alexa Price keeping the play alive, helping set up Avery Barnett, but Kirsten Burgraff and Layla Weaver show off their blocking skills for the point. Later in the set, Riverton going back on the attack, finding outside hitter Amberly Youngblood, who brings the hammer on this spike. Still in that first set, Lions keeping the play alive on this spike attempt that you're about to see, but it won't be for too long. Riverton going back on the attack. Ava Price, she'll find Hardwood for the kill there. Riverton takes down Baxter Springs in a 5-set thriller, 3-2. On the soccer pitch, Joplin taking on New Heights at home. Early first half, Cougars on the attack. Kason Hamlin connecting with Brogan Reither. He'll fire on net, but Gage Stovern makes the save for Joplin. Eagles take it the other way. Isaiah Snyder, he'll look to cross it, but it gets deflected with Abdias Orozco Rodriguez coming up with it and shooting, but Rush Stewart is there for the save. Later in the half, off a Joplin free kick, Snyder, he'll get beyond the defense, tracking the kick, tickling the twine to give the Eagles an early lead as Joplin shuts out New Heights 3-0. The Purple Dragons at home with a matchup against Lewisburg. Pittsburgh threatening early on. This corner kick from Bradley Cifuentes Rodas curls into the hands of Evan Moreland for the save. Now it's the Wildcats threatening. This time, Owen Marsh's free kick is deflected, and Dragons netminder Emerson Cabrera skies to make the save. Lewisburg back on the attack, and this crosser, it'll find Parker Powers, but Cabrera lays out to make the diving grab. Pittsburgh comes away with a comeback win, 2-1, the final.
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty good win. They were down 1-0 at half, so nice little comeback for the win.
Yeah, very fun. All right, we're back with more news after this. The Heartland Patriots Festival and Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce hold a Veterans Entrepreneurs Workshop at Crowder College's Advanced Training Technology Center. KOAM's Kenny Foreman was there to find out more.
Doug Hunt is one of several looking to help small business grow.
What I hope for small businesses and new startups is that the success rate grows so that the number of businesses that fail in the first 3 years, that number goes way down. And we're working very hard to make that happen here at the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce.
He's the Director of Entrepreneurship with the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce. He's encouraged a group of about 12 veterans to start their own businesses.
One of the things that we have talked about at the conference is showing veterans how they can get their business up and running as a startup and going into the details like a business plan, how to write an executive summary, P&L, all of those things that they would need and to be fluent in to start their business.
Several of the event organizers are veterans themselves, in addition to their experience in small business. This includes Ted Donaldson, Development Director of Heartland Canines for Veterans, who hopes that those who came out today are more aware of local resources that can help them start their own business.
If we can remove some of the unknowns, if we can help them overcome some whatever fear there may be about starting a business and recognize what's involved risk-wise, what resources are available in the community for them, then it may make it easier for them to do this and start a business.
Donaldson helped put the event together with the Heartland Patriot Festival, which celebrates veterans in the Midwest.
We know existing business owners that are veterans, and they support this kind of activity. We work through the Heartland Patriots Festival, we work with a bunch of different local businesses who came on board as sponsors to help us do all the different activities that we're doing this week.
Also on hand was Christian Thadani of the U.S. Small Business Administration. Also a former veteran, he prides himself in giving back.
As a veteran, I'm aware that some of my fellow veterans experience issues as we continue into civilian life, and helping my fellow veterans bridge some of these issues and these gaps is important to me.
He also knows the skills they will learn will be invaluable regardless of their future in business.
I'm most happy to see people connecting with other people. Whether or not we go forward on their entrepreneurial journey, just the time we get to spend together and connect with each other is most important.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
This is the first year for the event, but according to Donaldson, it won't be the last. Up next in Hollywood Nation, see Robin Wright and Olivia Cook clash in The Girlfriend. Robin Wright and Olivia Cooke clash in The Girlfriend, a limited drama series premiering tomorrow. They play two women whose lives become dangerously intertwined. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Mom, this is Cherry.
Robin Wright and Olivia Cooke face off in the new drama series The Girlfriend. Wright plays a protective mother and Cooke plays her son's girlfriend, caught in a psychological power struggle, pulling everyone around them into the emotional fallout.
You see the creation of the tension and the competition between Laura and Cherry. It begins because we all come from a place of love or fear. So you get two alpha females in a room, that ain't gonna be pretty. Because they both won't give up.
I'd be careful if I were you. What starts as a tense family dynamic slowly shifts into something even bigger.
It's not even about Daniel anymore. It's just about revenge and who's right. Which, you know, I think we can all relate to. We've all taken something a bit too far and you've forgotten why you feel this angered about it, but yet the emotion remains.
Aww, my two favorite ladies.
Their battle leaves the men in their lives caught in the middle.
There's this shared trauma that Howard and Laura have that they haven't dealt with. And I think it manifests itself in how they're parenting Daniel. And Laura becomes, you know, smothering him with her love, and Howard this like nudge, trying to get, you know, Daniel to be free of this possessiveness that his mother has that could be very destructive.
In Daniel's eyes, what he wants is his mom and his girlfriend, the love of his life, to get on and just be, you know, best buddies. It just takes a lot for him to eventually see what's going on.
I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, we'll see.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a walrus drinking from a water hose while waving and whistling at the Tacoma Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.